a $6 million bag fumble. That's exactly what this soy latte drinking, hunched back virgin pencil neck has done. Congratulations to you though, friend, because look, he turned $36 into $10,000. And you might say, wow, 280 times your money. What an absolute genius. The problem is what happened after that. The problem is he gets out with his crappy little Telegram trading bot thinking he's some sort of genius. I'm a technical wizard, hedge fund, quant analysis, statistical analysis. Okay, why don't you have $6 million then? All you had to do was literally hold 35 days. You couldn't hold 35 days? I bet your little statistics degree at university took you a lot longer than that. You could wait for that, right? I bet you've been waiting a long time to lose your virginity. So you could wait a long time to lose your virginity and for a girl to maybe place her left hand on your right shoulder. But you couldn't wait 35 days for your bag to grow to $6 million? What happened? Of course, friends, it's a joke. We're having fun. And I am wearing an Ash Ketchum Pokemon hat. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. But there are consequences for your actions. If you only have 2 ice cubes in your orange juice cup, it's not going to be as nice and rockety and clickety and clackety as nice as when you have 5 ice cubes. 2's okay, but 5's better, okay? If you go out there speeding in a car while drink driving and you have a blindfold on, there's consequences for your actions. Now, there are other consequences for your actions too, friends. Those are the big obvious ones. The orange juice was most important. But what about if you are a parent and you got children and they're starting to get a bit pudgy, and you just tell them, you know what, you don't need physical sport. Just sit inside, watch TV and, eat pizza all day. That's okay. Just keep crying in the corner. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to toughen up. Now, it's okay. You can be a little helicopter parent and put your kid around the bubble and do everything. That's fine. You can do that. You can do that. There are consequences for your actions, though. Most likely, there will be specific behaviors and patterns in the children as they start to get older. For example, maybe your son hunches his back too much. Maybe your daughter doesn't really know how to tackle the real world of teenagers and girls being mean and everybody in the locker room saying, ha ha, you don't have a proper MetaMask wallet. You are using Trust Wallet. All these types of stuff that people use. By the way, Trust Wallet's fine, friends. Trust Wallet's fine. Just joking. Okay. All these types of things being thrown out to you in the real world, there's consequences. So it's the same thing in trading. It's the same thing in investing. This consequence, unfortunately, is a $6 million consequence. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people will instantly say, wait a minute. Can't we just celebrate his 280x from 36 bucks to 10 grand? Yeah, but look, how about we just go a step further? Because what happens once you start to enter the world of being a soy latte drinking virgin and a paper hand? You start to indulge in fornicating with stablecoins pre-euphoria. You start to click the sell button pretty often. And guess what? You get used to clicking the sell button. You get used to flipping stuff. You get used to moving around. It's just like people who have 15 partners a year. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, your boyfriend number 14, what makes you so special? I thought number 6 was pretty cool, but then she moved on to 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Now you're 14. One day it's going to be 114. You're not so special. You see what I mean? It's the same thing here. Once you start getting used to clicking the sell all this time, their brains are not rewiring to try find out what's the thing I'm actually looking for. What's going to be that thesis? What am I actually in here in crypto? What's actually going to be the one that takes it to the top? Effectively, what you're trying to do is you're trying to refine your edge. You're trying to sharpen your sword, no puns intended, like subscribe, belly button, all, and you're just basically trying to see the path, feel the path. Perfect example, friends, with Pepe being the spear going up, we're tying it with the ribbeting. Remember the ribbeting, friends, the ribbeting and the thesis, tying with Pepe. You have Donald Trump. You're like, okay, what about the Pepe family coins? You're seeing Brett and Landwolf and all these. Now, it's funny enough, the coin that this guy actually cheated was Brett himself. Brett is one of the Pepe Boys Club members, okay? But the most important thing is this person's going to look back and go, oh, man, I was silly. But look, it's not so easy because they didn't have the belief. They didn't even have the thesis. They didn't even have the mindset to actually think about, can this thing even be possible? Hey friends, once you're dealing with these Telegram trashy trading bots and you're doing this little trading stuff, you can't possibly imagine the path of a 100x. You can't even possibly imagine, even though we know it happens all the time. And you don't even need 100x, by the way. You know these people with these trading accounts, friends, most of them, they don't even make a 10x. They don't make a 10x. They don't. I've seen the stats, man. We've seen it on Bybit. All the stats are done. Yeah, of course. Out of a million people, sure, the top 2% do well. Of course, top 1 to 2% do well. The bottom 98% get crushed beyond imagination. And of those people doing well, this is the thing. There are people in the top tiers of trading now. In 5 years, they're going to be useless. Most of them will be useless. More than half will be useless. This happens with hedge fund trading and all these other stats. Same thing. There are also people who did well in 2021 and 2020, that trading. They are on their way out right now. They're just in denial mode. That's happening right now as we speak. There is the old blood is phasing out and the new blood is coming in to replace them, and there's this movement, okay? Now, to stay on top of the game, you need to do exponentially harder work to figure out what's the new meta in their game. And guess what? Yeah, there's only a 50-50 chance again that they're even going to be part of that. And their gains diminish. So it really is a race against the clock, isn't it? So look, I don't blame people for doing that, but this is a very unique chance, isn't it? Once you see this, how cool is this picture? This is Landwolf, okay? Mr. Landwolf here in green candles. I love that, man. It was so fun. Friends, as soon as I saw it, they actually did it for Brett. I go, man, you got to make one for Land. Look how cool he's like, come join me on these top glorious green candles. Hey, he's smoking a doobie. Isn't that fun? Just chilling out. So you see that? You understand it. When I show you this picture, let's go. Have a look again. Look at this picture. The purple Landwolf. He's got the king here. He's on Ethereum chain. He's chilling out. You know what I mean? Look at these green candles. You know what this means to you? This means, when I see this, it means the ribbeting. This Jeter, okay, when he sees a contract address, he just sees numbers. He's like, okay, I put 280 in, I'm 10 grand out. But that's okay. That rational mindset is okay when there's euphoria and you need reasons to think ahead 12 months. But when you're like, pretty much this guy cheated before the Bitcoin halving. Think about that, by the way. Just think about that. You have cheated before the Bitcoin halving. You know how much inflation there is out there, by the way? This guy's still like, at least wait to see what happens when Bitcoin hits over 100K. Like, at least wait, you know? So I hope everything keeps going up. Just look, these people got to learn a lesson. Got to learn a lesson. You drink soy, these are the consequences for your actions, okay? So the Jeter, right? Yes, you can celebrate that $36 into 10 grand. And look, friends, life's full of contradictions. You always hear that. Go speak to anybody who's a billionaire. They'll tell you that. Go speak to people at the top of any field. Okay, friends? Go watch even esports. Professional esports people. Dota, Counter-Strike, StarCraft. The top tier people will do things that are contradictory. Makes no sense. Okay? Makes absolutely no sense. But there's a reason. That's why they're elite. Friends, you know Mr. Sir Alex Ferguson? You remember him, right? The Manchester United coach. Now, this guy, I heard a story, absolutely amazing, all right? So, there was one match, they were up 2-0. They're up 2-0, and, right, I'm sure it's his team, and this is what makes him one of the greatest coaches. I think they're winning 2-0, and it was halftime, and this is the crazy part, he started snapping at one of the players who was actually crushing it. He had scored both of the goals for the team. Okay? He started snapping at them. And he started snapping, you gotta do. And then, later on, years later, I think in his book or something, he basically explained, someone basically ended up asking him, hey man, you guys won 4-0 that match, but when you were up 2-0 half-time, how come you started snapping at the guy who was doing really well? And what he said was, there was someone in the team who was playing one of the worst games of their life. And he knew if he went and spoke to that player, it would crush him and say, you are having the worst game of your life right now. You got to pull it together. So Alex Ferguson is a genius. Okay, he's got game awareness. Okay, that's what makes him one of the greatest, right? If not the greatest. So he knew if he went to speak to this player lacking, it would crush his soul and his spirit, and he would perform even worse. So what he did was he started snapping at the player doing the best, because he knew that guy would hear what he was saying. And he was basically saying, you got to cover one of the left sides because that guy keeps running. You got to mark these two guys, whatever. Genius. See, it sounds contradictory. Friends, I tell you, elite level stuff is full of contradictions. Okay? Because everybody knows 99% of the game, but it's that final 1% that really separates the orange juice pulp from people who are just drinking, you know, the low brand cordial orange juice, which is not anywhere near close to what we want. Freshly squeezed orange juice. You understand that? The game is full of contradictions. That's why I'm telling you now. On one hand, yes, on one hand, okay, you've got to like take big profits and you've got to be in the game and you've got to do this. Yeah. On one hand. On the other hand, the greatness, the vision to achieve the big champion status, top tier, elite level things, you got to break all the rules. You got to break all the rules, friends. How do, you know, we're already breaking the rules right now by being all in crypto, by the way, because we're doing that. So don't think you got to do too much, because there are people out there in stock market boomer land. They are in assets with cash flows coming into them, okay? But no one cares about them, but they just got cash flow coming into them, okay? We are in crypto digital Ponzi assets, liquidity linked, Metcalfe's law, all this other stuff, and that's our competitive edge. It sounds like the biggest contradiction, right? It is. Friends, do you understand, what do you think is going through these hedge funds and all these other quant nerd and statistics guys' minds when I just show them, I go, you know, I hold stuff. It goes up, down, 90%, sideways forever, literally 12 months, and then starts going up again. They'll call you a gambler, a degenerate, a peanut brain. I go, yes, triple yes. Thank you very much. Doing it anyway. Doing it anyway because it works. It works. You just got to wait. It's a waiting game, isn't it? Most of the time, it's a waiting game, okay? But obviously, don't misconstrue that because contradictions, right? Like, oh, if you're still waiting for your cycle number 4 coin to like erupt, well, the odds are very, very low. You see what I mean? So this guy, right, he missed out on his 100,000x. It would be worth over $6 million today. Now, what about practical, like, what could a practical implementation of that strategy be for us? I mean, what I love, straight away in the comment sections, you guys got it. The guys and the girls, the pups and the squirrels, all of you got it straight away. You guys, noob. Everybody knows in crypto, you never sell your full freaking bag, man. You always leave a moon bag. Always. Always. You just got to leave something. Now, what's the right amount? There is no right amount. Okay, it's like, hey, you got to know the future. But just think about if this guy left, even if he just left, if you sold 50% of that and he took his money out, he's like, oh, you know, I've turned 36 bucks into 5 grand and I'll just let the rest go. He'd have $3 million today. By the way, if Pepe goes up, imagine that, friends. Imagine if Pepe goes to 40 billion, Landwolf can hit like $1 billion, and Brett is like doing another 5x. That means, you see, that this guy could have, if he could have sold half, left his moon bag, and he could be on his way up there to having $5 to $8 million and satisfying his urge to click his finger, right? The itchy finger. So there are consequences for your actions. People consistently looking for trades, bang, 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 and that's all they're going to do. Keep doing it. You ever heard that saying? When you have a hammer in your hand, everything looks like a nail. Yes, that is the short-term trader mindset mentality, which is obviously good for the top 1 out of 100. Sucks for the minus 99 out of 100, the people on the other side of the skew. Look, most people, that's why I've spent so much time telling you, why does holding actually make it throughout the cycle, okay? Look, don't even worry about the real reasons, because at the end of the day, you can contradict yourself out of, you know, into holding too long or not holding long enough. But at the end of the day, you just know that they're printing money and they always print as a percentage extra of the existing money supply. So you just holding with time, they've got to print based off how much money supply they had last year. So they're exponentially printing. You're getting compounding gains, right? Even remember Albert Einstein, your friend from the next doors, right? Even Albert Einstein said, 8th wonder of the world, compound interest. That's basically pretty much it. You're compounding, right? The interest of them just, it's inverted, right? Because it's inflation being dished out. See, that's what it is. So if you're in the game of trading, doing this all the time, you don't get to sit around and compound. You don't get to do that. Every month, market's changing, new variables, new dynamics. You don't get to sit back and passively get this compounding. You have to actively engage and keep like repeating your edge. You've got to keep finding an edge. It changes. You've got to morph it. That's why there are people, I already know, friends, very, very sad. I'll tell you right now, there are people who did really well in 2020 and 2021. They will be liquidated into bankruptcy by the end of this cycle because they're going to do the exact same strategies that they did before. They don't know how to adapt, and they're going to get wrecked beyond imagination. They don't understand meme coins or altcoins. They don't understand holding. But, you know, like I said, the market's going to teach you. It's just that you're going to learn the easy way or the hard way. You're my friend. Like, subscribe, belly button, or we're here to learn the easy way. Catch you soon.